Okay, so here we go. I am a little bit sick, so I am actually going to be recording 2 videos today just so we can properly get to it. You might notice the camera angle is different as well because my phone has to be plugged in into a charger right now so I can record this video. So I'm recording this one, I'll be recording another one later today, and then that one will be hosted tomorrow. So let's go ahead and hop on it. So today I wanted to talk about the fact of you need to train before you're ready to work. And this comes from multiple places in the Bible. So we're actually going to be looking at 2 examples. We're going to look at David and we're going to look at Saul, aka Paul, because, you know, he had that name Saul, and then he had his name transformed to Paul after he started becoming a apostle for Christ. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Or actually, as he calls himself a bondservant for Christ. So let's go ahead and start talking about this, and let's hop on in. But first, I want to announce to you guys that the podcast is now available on Apple, Spotify, and on Amazon. So it's available on 3 different platforms. You guys can go check it out there. You guys can go check that out by looking up FalconTactics.net/PoSO/ which means process of starting over, or /Spotify/ Apple / Amazon, whatever podcast you're looking for. So /PoSO/ the service that you want. Now then, or if you just type PoSO, it'll just send you to YouTube. So I really hope that doesn't mean something really bad, and I'm just like making an abbreviation about it, and like it just means something really bad. I didn't look it up. I probably should look it up, and if it means something bad, I will change it immediately. But anyways, so let's go ahead and hop on in. So in 1 Samuel 16, the first thing that I wanted to read and point out is the anointing of David. And so we're going to start from verse 11. So, just for context, he basically came to he basically came to Jesse, because Jesse had all these different sons, and the Lord was like, he's in the family of Jesse, so go find the future king, because Saul is no longer the king. And we're not talking about Saul as in Paul, we're talking about Saul as in the king in this time, okay? So, he comes over, and then the Lord speaks to Samuel, and he says, and Samuel said the Lord speaks to Samuel and said, none of these are the king. And then Samuel speaks to Jesse and says, are all these young men here? And then he said, there remains yet the youngest, and there he is keeping the sheep. So the king was a sheep keeper. He was a shepherd. Okay. Anyways, continues. And Samuel said to Jesse, send and bring him, for we will not sit down till he comes here. So he sent and brought him in, and now he was ruddy with bright eyes and good looking. And the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is the one. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers. And the spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel arose to Ramah. Okay, so that's really cool stuff. All right, he anointed him. Cool, he's king now, right? No, he doesn't become king for another 15 years. Okay. What do you think he was doing during that 15 years? Okay, well, at least during the first couple of years, I would assume he remained as a shepherd, okay? Later, he talks about serving Saul because a distressing spirit from the Lord came upon Saul. So, like, obviously, he was doing a bunch of other things during this time, and a lot of it was him running away from Saul because Saul was trying to kill him because he was a little bit angry, bro. He didn't like that. He didn't like that David was anointed king and that Saul had removed him. God had removed Saul from that place, so he didn't like it. He didn't like it, bro. He didn't want to. He was kind of mad. So, anyways, point is, it took him like 15 years in order to become king after he was poured oil upon an ordained king. Kind of crazy stuff, right? Now, obviously, he was learning a bunch during that time. He already was learning how to command men in the army. He was already learning how to have those leadership skills. He was learning how to rely upon God. He was learning how to do all these things during this 15 years that would make him into the great king that he was supposed to be. And then he gets promised later that his royal line will always remain on the throne because he was faithful to the Lord. So really cool stuff. But it wouldn't have happened if he didn't remain loyal and faithful during those 15 years. He could have just said, dude, it's been like 10 years. I don't want to be the king anymore. Like, this is never going to happen. There's no way I'm going to be the king. Even though God said it was going to happen. It's been like 10 years now, God. Not going to happen. But he didn't say that. Instead, he decided to go, get trained up, and become ready for the position that God gave him, which also goes back to our luck when opportunity and preparedness meet. He was told he was going to be the king, okay? So that was the opportunity. Then he had to become prepared for that opportunity. Then he had to wait for the next opportunity to dethrone the current king. So already The coolest thing about for him is that he already knew what was going to happen. He just had to wait for it to present itself. The opportunity to present itself for him to be able to take the throne. Really cool stuff. So let's go ahead and look towards Paul now, okay, and see, how did Paul train? Didn't he just become an apostle and then he just started doing his ministry? Everybody thinks that like he just came out of nowhere and then he started preaching, but he didn't. He's here, okay? So we're going to go ahead and look at Galatians chapter 1. And we're going to look at verse 11, and then we're going to skip down to verse 18 afterwards. Okay, so here we go. So, a call to apostleship in this area. I'm reading out of the King James, the New King James Version, so it has these little titles above it. I don't really like the titles. It doesn't really, they don't write the titles before the verse. Anyways, not the point. Here we go. But I make known to you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached by me is not according to man, for I neither received it from man, nor was I taught it, but it came through the revelation of Jesus Christ. So first of all, he says that he was taught by Jesus Christ, and the words that he teaches were not taught by we're not taught by man. Everything that he knows was taught by revelation of Jesus Christ. And revelation of Jesus Christ basically just means he was either taught to him through dreams or either taught to him through prophetic gatherings where Jesus basically like met with him either in person after Jesus died. I mean, it says multiple times that Jesus met with like over 500 people after he had died for a little while after he died. That's possible. We could assume that. But also the other thing that we could assume is also that God just came to him in dreams. I mean, that happened back then. That happened a lot of times back then. And actually, people say that it happens now, but most of them tend to blur it and put it out of proportion. And so then we know that it wasn't actually God. It was just them trying to get attention. So watch out for that apostasy, okay? That just means false teachers. Now then, so if we skip down over to verse 18, he continues afterwards saying, then after 3 years, I went to Jerusalem to see Peter and remained with him for 15 days. So he said he didn't go straight into teaching the word. As a matter of fact, let me go to that verse. He said, and in verse 15 it says, but would it please God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me through his grace to reveal his son in me, that I might preach among the Gentiles, I did not immediately confer with flesh and blood, nor did I go up to Jerusalem to who were apostles before me. But I went to Arabia and returned to Damascus again. Then after 3 years, I went to Jerusalem to see Peter and remained with him for 15 days. But I saw none of the other apostles except James and the Lord's brother. Now concerning the things which I write to you, indeed, before God, I do not lie. Okay, so he is saying, he's like, dude, I did not go straight into ministry, okay? I was taught by God about what to say for 3 years. 3 years before he goes into ministry. But then you also see that he wrote half of the New Testament. So there is a preparation phase before you can start doing those things that God has called you to do. I'm sure that even with Moses, he had a preparation phase with him. I mean, obviously he ran away from Egypt and God probably taught him a lot of things during that time when he met that tribe that he met his wife in and then was called to go do these awesome things. Okay, so I'm just saying, okay? Everybody has a preparation phase. Now, I kind of realized that, like, I was reading this and a little bit convicted me because I feel like that I didn't really have a preparation phase before I went into making this channel, but a lot of other people are already talking about how they really appreciate the content. So my goal is to grow while I'm making this content and then use the information that I already have while making this content. So yeah, that's the main thing. I just wanted to bring into the fact that you guys can't start doing something before you've prepared for that thing. Please remember that in order to prepare for something, that means you need to do active research and it means you need to do active learning in order to become what you want to be in that area. So for me, I need to be doing active learning about YouTube. I need to be doing active learning about the Bible because I'm trying to teach people principles from the Bible. I also need to be doing active learning on how to orient and own a podcast. So we're doing more things about that. And I keep on learning on the daily. I'm learning as I'm making these videos. I'm watching other podcasts. I'm learning and reading through the Bible. I'm listening to other Bible podcasts. I'm listening to other podcasts that talk about eliminating distractions and talking about the things that I have been talking about. So if you guys want to go check out some other ones, go ahead and comment down below. I'll tell you some of the other guys that I've been watching. But really cool stuff, okay? It's just like I've been learning and teaching at the same time. I think that's the best way to reinforce the information that you learn, to teach the information that you're currently learning. Learn information as if you're going to teach it within 48 hours, and that information will retain even longer because you're expected to teach that information that you're learning in 48 hours. As a matter of fact, I actually recommend for you to go find a friend, find someone you can talk to, and teach them what you've been learning within the last 48 hours. Research and learn some things within 48 hours, and then teach them within the next 48 hours. And by that time, you will see, dang, I remembered a lot more of that information than I thought I would, and now I'm able to teach it to them. Really cool stuff, okay? So yeah, just keep that in mind, all right? That is the video for today, okay? Preparation, all right? It's biblical. You will have to prepare. Even if you know that you're going to go do something, please make sure you prepare for that said thing, okay? Make sure that you're ready for that thing, all right? I mean, the apostles did it. David did it. Moses was in preparation before he went back to Egypt and did all the things that God commanded him to do from the burning bush. Okay, there's so many examples in the Bible of preparation before going into the thing that God promised. All right, kind of crazy stuff. All right, so let's make sure that we become prepared. Whatever we need to do in order to become prepared, let's go ahead and do it. All right, guys. I told you guys what I need to do, so this is the call to action. You guys go do what you guys need to do and prepare yourself for whatever position that you guys need to be in. All right, so let's go ahead and do it. Let's prepare together. Thank you guys for being here. Remember, this is the process of starting over, so please keep in mind that this is a hard process and this is a refinement process, and I pray that we can all be refined through Christ, or just all be refined in general through whatever methods that we have to do. Okay, so please prepare yourself for the coming opportunities and the coming challenges that you're going to have. Otherwise, you're never going to make it through the fire, the refining process. All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to watch more, you guys can click on these videos, or you guys can click right here. The phone might be reversed, so the videos on the channel might be on the opposite sides because my phone is reversed right now. So we'll see. Anyways, if they're not, you know where they are. They'll pop up. Click on it. All right. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. All right. Stay strong. Fly on, Falcon Force. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.